Good morning, Her Excellency Irina Chechipapekova, ex-Director General of UNESCO and the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Bulgaria, Her Excellency Audrey Azoulay, Director General of UNESCO, Stefania Giannini, Assistant Director General for Education of UNESCO and the African Union Commissions. All distinguished guests from media and journalists, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Seminar on International Day of Education 2021, Battling the COVID-19, Ensuring the Accessibility and Safety of Education During Pandemic. My name is Rahayu Putri Widowati, representative of the delegation of the Republic Indonesia to UNESCO, and I will be the Master of Ceremony for today. On behalf of the Working Committee of UNESCO, I want to extend a very grateful to each and every one of you. It's such an honor to welcome you here at Seminar on International Day of Education 2021. We appreciate your effort to join on our event today, especially in this COVID-19 pandemic. Praise is always being given to our God for the blessing, so that we all can be here in a good condition. Now, we will release a video about children's struggle to get a proper education. Please give us your attention to tribute all the children in the whole world.
Once upon a time, in a land where trouble ruled, a little girl searched for hope, for life, for school. With just her school bag on her back, she ran towards the river, but she could hear them all around her. What pain would they deliver? Her heart pounded faster than she knew she'd have to fight. So she grabbed a ruler from her bag and she fought with all her might. With her spirit lifted, the first battle had been won. But she could hear the clouds building. The next was still to come. As war ran all around her, she knew she'd have to hide. So she took out a book and she quickly climbed inside. The words washed over her and under her, becoming a thick shield that the bullets couldn't penetrate. The ink just wouldn't yield. The path was now clear, and her resolve was even stronger. But her journey stretched ahead of her, seeming ever longer. To cross the dark waves of despair, she knew she'd have to fly. So she used what she could find and continued way up high. And as she flew, she looked ahead and could see her journey's end. A glowing room, a brilliant blue, a school she could attain. With her feet back on the soil, the path was open wide. She sprinted to the open door and quickly rushed inside. A chapter completed, her journey now won. But the story isn't over. In fact, it's just begun.
Thank you for your attention. Without further ado, let us start our event. Alright, now we will have a speech from ex-Director General of UNESCO and the Minister of Foreign Affairs in Bulgaria. Please welcome Ms. Irina Chechipapekova.
So, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, education is a human imperative. It is a development imperative, and it is a security imperative. This is why we must ensure every girl and boy can go to school, receive the right learning, and contribute fully to society. This is the message of the Global Education First initiative, and we are taking it across the world. Education must come first, not just any education, quality education, education to shape the world into a better place. Across the globe, this is not happening. 58 million children are out of school. 250 million more are unable to read, write, and count after 4 years of schooling, and girls and women are hit hardest. The global learning crisis, as we call it, violates basic human rights. It undermines social cohesion and threatens stability, throwing a shadow over the development of entire societies, condemning generations to despair. This is why we meet. The Global Education First initiative of the Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, is a call to action to harness the transformative power of education, to eradicate poverty and hunger, to improve health, to protect our planet, and build more inclusive, resilient, and peaceful societies. We asserted this message at the Global Education Meeting in Oman this May, at the International Conference on Literacy in Bangladesh this month, and it was sent at the BRICS Summit in Brazil. Mesdames et messieurs, à la veille de 2015, au moment de définir un nouvel agenda mondial de l'éducation, nous devons agir à deux niveaux. Au niveau politique, en mobilisant toutes les volontés, toutes les voies d'influence, comme nous le faisons aujourd'hui. Au niveau opérationnel, en partageant les bonnes pratiques pour obtenir un impact maximum. Dans cet esprit, je remercie la République de Corée, Madame la Présidente, pour nous avoir invités l'année prochaine au Forum global de l'éducation. Je remercie les pays champions, tous représentés ici aujourd'hui au plus haut niveau, et tous nos partenaires. Votre leadership, votre solidarité, votre engagement et un soutien direct à tous les jeunes garçons et filles qui s'accrochent à l'école pour construire un avenir meilleur. Et permettez-moi, mesdames et messieurs, maintenant que je donne la parole au vice-secrétaire général, M. Jan Eliasson. Vous avez la parole.
Thank you for sharing with us, Ms. Irina. Ladies and gentlemen, now I would like to invite the next speech from Assistant Director General for Education of UNESCO, Ms. Stefania Giannini. The floor is yours.
Excellencies, this declaration voices concern and commitment. Concern because the COVID-19 crisis has jeopardized the right to education and threatens to leave a generation behind. Concern that the education crisis will deepen because financing will decline. UNESCO has heard this concern in all regions of the world during the consultations on this declaration. This has enabled the global community to define priority actions that are essential for educational recovery in the coming 15 months. First, taking every measure to reopen schools safely and inclusively. Second, supporting all teachers as frontline workers and paying serious heed to their training and professional development. Third, investing in skills development from the socio-emotional dimension to gaining competencies for new jobs. Fourth, narrowing the digital divide that has shut down education for 1/3 of the world's students. These priority actions require that education budgets be at least protected, if not increased. In this declaration, governments and partners state their commitment to, first, maintain or increase the share of public spending on education. Second, ensure that stimulus packages support measures that will mitigate learning losses and get the most vulnerable back to school. Third, increase the volume, predictability, and effectiveness of international aid. This declaration is an emergency prescription. To work, it requires new levels of international solidarity and multilateral cooperation. The past 7 months shown this is possible. UNESCO will play this part to better connect all the strategic blocks to accelerate progress. At this defining moment, we can take pride in the spirit of consensus and commitment that leads us today to endorse this declaration. I thank you very much.
Thank you for your insight, Ms. Stefania. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, next is the speech from Director General of UNESCO. Please be invited to the stage, Her Excellency, Ms. Audrey Azoulay.
After a year as difficult as 2020, being pessimistic would be easy. But 2021 gives us many reasons to hope. Because, as the past year has shown us so painfully, education is a human right, a public good, and a public responsibility. As you know, at the peak of the pandemic, our figures have shown that 91% of the global student population, 1.5 billion learners, were unable to attend school. Together, we saw the gap that is left in our lives and in the lives of our children. All of these issues show education should not be considered a cost, but an investment, and one of the most important investments there are. Yet, the funding that has been committed to education is insufficient and threatened by the current situation. The countries that have best responded to the learning disruptions of 2020 are those where teachers are better qualified, better trained, and better considered. Because school systems depend first and foremost on teachers, UNESCO works with countries and partners to make them central to our social projects. They are the best possible investment for the health, for the development of our societies. All of these issues impacting the future of education guide our work and our reflections every day in the field, along with UNESCO's member states. We invite each and every one of you to take a seat at this table, the table of multilateralism, because we need all of you on board.
We know you are a busy person. Thank you for taking time to come here and give us knowledge how education works during pandemic time, Ms. Audrey. After listening to the speech of our guests, we hope that all invited guests who attend this event in person or through live can realize how difficult it is to children to get a proper education during this pandemic COVID-19. Almost 2 years more, children cannot go to school. All levels of educations are taken by means of online learning. Although there were more difficulties, their spirits are never faded. I believe we all can get through all these difficulties. Hopefully, education in the whole world will be better soon for students and teachers. Children are the future of the nation. Without a proper education for children, the world will not advance and there will be much more severe pandemic. That is pandemic of ignorance. We need to understand that this pandemic is not the only challenge we face. Up front, there are still a series of challenges that we will and must go through. Let's go through all the challenges with innovation and solution. Let us create a glorious and undeniable history in the world. Hopefully, these difficult times will be over soon and students can return to normal learning. Minister, Director General, all distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to Seminar International Day of Education by UNESCO. Finally, I am Rahayu Putri Widowati on behalf of the Working Committee of UNESCO, wishing you a wonderful day. We will see you in the next event of UNESCO. Thank you.